Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm not even joking. This is my third attempt to make this video because technology just was not cooperating with me, and that is really frustrating. Anyways, listen, you guys. I have recently received a request from hopefully a subscriber. Girl, subscribe, please. Okay, I'm making a video for you to make a video about healing without closure. Okay, and I genuinely find the topic of closure really interesting because a lot of people seem to want it, but I have many thoughts about it. Okay, so let's talk about it. Before we talk about closure, okay, let's address the actual comment that the girl left for me about her situation. And listen, I just want to say that I do not know anything about this relationship. I do not know the age of this girl, so it's really difficult to make a really specific, commentary about this, I guess. I do not know everything about the situation. However, based on everything that she says in this comment, girl, no, listen, let's get straight into this first and foremost, okay? My boyfriend of 10 years just blocked me, all because I expressed how I feel and confronted him about him liking, following, and commenting on other girls' photos. I'm being called crazy and paranoid, and it just escalated before I even get a chance to communicate. Girl, come on. And I feel that I'm always getting shut down and brushed off and blocked every time I come to him with how I feel and with a concern. No. And I feel like I'm not being appreciated and valued. Girl, you're so correct on this. I feel deeply hurt by it, and I'm freaking anxious, and I don't know what to do. Very, very understandably so. That behavior is really weird. And not at all normal and okay, by the way. Okay, so anyways, she's asking me how to deal with this when being blocked when there's no closure. That's crazy. First of all, listen. I got you. We all got you. Okay, and if you're dealing with this, I got you. Okay, let's talk about this. This is diabolical. So we only ever talk about closure in the context of breakups. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. And I hope you guys broke up. That's what I want to say, first and foremost. All right, because if you are still together after the whole decade, okay, and I don't know for how long he has been doing this, but clearly he has been doing this, and you expressed very, very obviously how you feel about it, how it makes you feel, that you're hurt, that you're upset, that this is not okay with you. And instead of talking to you about this, instead of changing his behavior and putting the relationship first, he blocked you. What the hell is this even? This is actually crazy. Okay, not uncommon, but crazy. So yes, and if you are still together, and he blocked you, and you try to talk to him, but every time you try, he shuts you out, he shuts you down, and does not want to discuss this, what is even the purpose of this relationship? Please tell me that you broke up. I really, really hope that relationship is over, because that is diabolical, okay? That is crazy behavior. Also, I really hope that you do not feel like you cannot break up with him because you spent so much time together and this relationship has been going on for a decade, and that's why you view this time as an investment of sort, and that's why you feel like it would be just a waste and it would be kind of for nothing, okay? But let me tell you something. It's much better to be in a bad relationship for 10 years, okay, than to be in a bad relationship for 10 years and one day. Please do not waste your precious life, your energy, your health on someone who does not even respect you and doesn't even like you, seemingly, okay? Please, you deserve so much better than that. I previously made a video about healthy relationship skills, and communication is one of the most important skills that you should have for a healthy relationship, okay? And I'm not saying you don't have that skill, because clearly you do. But that applies to another person, and that is something to look out for in your potential partner, okay? You should always feel comfortable bringing up your feelings and whatever bothers you to the table and discussing that with your partner. Okay? They should be calm about it, and they should give you space, and they should be open to discussing it with you and potentially changing their behavior. All right? That is what's normal. Healthy relationships are not perfect relationships. Do not expect your partner to be a perfect person. Okay? But what makes it different from the toxic relationships is that your partner should be willing to listen to you and respect you. Okay? And respect your feelings and put them above some silly nonsense. Okay? I want to make this very, very, very clear. So, yeah, that behavior is absolutely unacceptable. I just really hope that you're really far away from this asshole. Yeah, anyways. Now, back to closure. It's interesting how people talk about closure, and they talk about wanting a closure as if they really believe that is going to help them. Now, hear me out. Okay? I personally never really wanted a closure because I never really understood what is the point. Okay? What is a closure? Okay? So closure means that you have a conversation, like after a breakup, and you talk about your relationship. You talk about what went wrong. You maybe expect the person to apologize to you, or maybe you want to apologize to the person. You talk about what went wrong. You talk about like what happened there. And it's like all of this seems to be completely nonsensical. I don't see how that is going to serve any purpose for you. Like, what are you getting out of this? Especially when you want to feel good after this. You want to let this closure, this conversation, to help you heal after this breakup, right? And the truth is that you actually do not need closure whatsoever. You don't need closure from another person, okay? Why do you think you need it? What do you think you're going to get out of this? What do you want to happen in this conversation? Do you want this person to apologize to you? What is that going to change? Do you want the person to acknowledge what he did? What is that going to change? You already know what he did. Okay? You already know what he did. And he tried to gaslight you. Specifically in this specific situation, okay? Because the guy was like gaslighting this girl. What the hell is that? Calling her crazy and paranoid. Like literally textbook. Are you joking? Are you joking? Especially when you're doing something online that people can check and see publicly. Diabolical. Absolutely crazy. No. Him crazy, girl, not you. Okay? This is insanity. Why do you think you will feel better if he himself says that he was wrong? Let me tell you something. The only situation where I feel like this conversation and this closure makes sense if you would like to continue a relationship with this person. Yeah. I feel like truly the only case where this makes sense, and this would actually be really helpful and healthy, if something happened, let's say you broke up, and then you have this conversation, you have this closure, you close this past chapter, you discuss your relationship, you do a full audit of this relationship actually, right? You apologize to each other, or the person who wronged you apologizes to you and acknowledges what they did wrong, and you discuss how you would like to move forward better. Okay, in order to prioritize each other more, and in order to, be like happier in the future. And then you start basically a new relationship together. You renew your relationship. That is the only case where that makes sense, because you hear someone you love acknowledge their wrongdoings. You hear the apology. You feel better about that. And because at that point, you still probably most likely have feelings, that makes you feel warmer towards this person. And if you do not want to continue a relationship with this person, why would you ever want to do this to yourself? Why would you want to do this to yourself? And the thing is that maybe I'm not seeing the full picture, clearly. If you see the point of this, please let me know in the comments, because I genuinely want to understand this. To me, this just feels like self-harm, if I'm being honest with you. This just feels like absolute waste of time, waste of your time. Complete waste of energy. And it's like you're rehashing the old stuff and nothing comes out of that. Nothing comes out of that. You already know what happened. Okay? You already know, even if you don't know everything that happened, you know that you're hurt. That is the truth. This is how you feel. We don't argue with feelings. We argue with facts. Okay? And how you feel is valid. All right? You already know how you feel. You already know how he treated you. What do you think is going to change if he says, I'm sorry? Were you going to take him back? Because if you do, sure. No questions. No, I do have questions, but you do you. You know what I mean? But if you do not have any intention to continue a relationship with this person, why the hell would you want to do that? What would that change? What would that change? Why would you want to view this person in a better way? Why would you want to move on from this, feeling better about this person? Or like, are you hoping to gain more respect for him or something? What is the point? The whole thing seems to be nonsensical. Now, I feel like some men specifically want closure, and they usually want closure because they want to clear their name. Yeah. If a man does something, if this man did something, wrong, if he like wronged you in this relationship, I can see why he would want to have closure, to clear his name, to talk about, how it wasn't fully his fault, maybe it was like a little bit your fault or someone else's fault, and he's really like actually just, he's good, he's a nice guy, like he didn't actually do anything that wrong. He wants to clear his name in your eyes so that when you leave, you think about him better. Yeah, you see him as a better person than before. And you know what that does? That keeps the door open for him. Yeah. It makes it much easier for him to reach out to you in the future when he's lonely, to maybe meet up, to hook up. Yeah. Because he apologized, so it should be okay. Right? To stay friends. Yeah, no, we have high standards for our friends here too, okay? So no. But like friends with benefits or something like that. That's what he probably wants. Let's be honest. Yeah. And then he keeps following you on social media. He doesn't unfollow you. He keeps liking you. He keeps the door open. That is very common. Come on now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, as a girl, I don't see why would you want to do that. If you would like to apologize to a man for something, you can do that via text. You can call him if you want, and you can apologize to clear your conscience. I understand that. Okay, so you can move on. If you did something wrong, that is also a situation that I understand. If you feel like you wronged someone who didn't do anything wrong to you, maybe you were unfaithful, or you said something hurtful to him, or to her, doesn't matter. You reach out and you apologize. Okay? That is also understandable. But why would you want a closure when the person hurt you? What are you expecting to gain from this? Because there is nothing for you to gain. Everything that you need, you already have. You have the evidence of this person's wrongdoings towards you. That is quite literally all you need. You don't need anything else. Now, what do you actually do? Because, I don't ever just talk about something and like leave you hanging there and like there's no conclusion. No, there is conclusion, and they're going to be really helpful tips because I'm going to help you heal, because that's what we're doing here, okay? You give yourself the closure. That's actually the closure that you need. You give yourself the closure. You don't need this person to do anything for you. And again, please let me know in the comments, what do you actually expect from this closure? Like, what do you want the person to say or do to make it okay? Like, to make it better for you? What are you expecting? Because I am genuinely not seeing how that could be helpful. I can see how it can be more hurtful, but not helpful. Back to closure. You give the closure to yourself. You make peace with what happened, okay? And you help yourself. I'm not saying that you're dealing with this completely by yourself, but when it comes to closure, this is what you do. You do the audit of this relationship by yourself. You sit down, and I actually strongly recommend that you do this in written form so that in the future, in case you get lonely and sad and you miss this person, you can look back at your notes and see exactly what they did to you. Okay? So you don't feel quite as tempted to, God forbid, come back or text him or like reach out and what exactly? Rekindle this what? The flame? Is there flame? Okay, you're a fire extinguisher, girl. You do the audit of this relationship and you're being really honest with yourself. And no matter how emotional you feel, because yes, you feel emotional about this, and this is normal because you're a human being with feelings. That's normal. Okay? But you are going to use your logical side here. Okay? I'll tell you more. Leave your heart out of this temporarily. Okay? Leave your heart out of this while you're doing this audit. Let your ego take the lead. Ego can actually save your life a lot of the times. Ego can help you in certain situations like nothing else can. Heart is wonderful. Wonderful. Heart should always lead the way. Not always, most of the times, I guess. Ego can be so very helpful in situations like this. So you can see exactly how insulting and disrespectful this was. So you operate with facts and not feelings. Write down what this person said. Write down what you actually did to try to amend this relationship, to get out of this conflict, to like make things better basically, and how the person responded. So you have the evidence documented, okay? So you make it very clear for yourself why the breakup needed to happen in the first place, even if you were not the one initiating it, all right? It's a different situation when you have the feelings for the person, but the person broke up with you, and, you know, that is a lot more painful when like nothing bad happened, you know, like there was no cheating, there was no scandal, there was nothing hurtful that happened, just the person changed their mind and they just don't want to be with you anymore. That is a lot more hurtful. But again, let the ego take the lead, because this is really, really hard. And what the ego is going to tell you is that why would you want to be with someone who does not want to be with you? Okay? Doesn't mean that you should hate this person now or disrespect this person. Okay? But it means that you should not want to be with someone who is not interested in the same thing you're interested in. This is not going to work. Okay? This is not going to work. It's not going to happen. A healthy relationship or any kind of relationship cannot be built when you have to beg another person to be with you, or you have to persuade another person, especially as a girl, especially as a woman. We're not doing that. We inherently have value. We don't do that. Why would you want to be with someone who you have to persuade, who you have to convince, you know, who you have to like, no, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Again, doesn't have to be any bad blood or anything like that. Just that's going to make it easier to let go when you listen to your heart, but then you listen to your ego as well. And you understand that, yeah, this really sucks. This really, really sucks. And like, if you want to cry, which you probably do, please do. Please do. Please let it all out. Let it all out. Cry as much as you want. You have to get it out of your system. And talk about this, and talk about this, and talk about this until you can no longer talk about this. Get this out of your system. Okay? You can do this with your journal. You can like record this on your phone. Okay? You can talk with your friends. You can talk to a therapist. You can talk to whoever will listen. Okay? You can just talk to yourself about this, but you have to let it out. You have to let it out. The healing process is not linear as well. I have to tell you that. You have to keep that in mind. It's going to get better, and then it's going to get worse, and then it's going to get better. Eventually, it is getting better. It is. But in the moment, it's very day to day. And that's okay. Be very gentle with yourself, but also like don't rush to numb yourself and like numb those feelings, or like God forbid jump into the next relationship very quickly. Give yourself time to process that and to make peace with that. Okay? I feel like I kind of like steered away a little bit from closure, but that is kind of what it is. That is what it is. Write it down. Okay? Write it down, talk about it, understand what happened in this relationship, understand what, if like maybe you did something that you wish you didn't do. In this case, overlook red flags, overstay your welcome, try to argue with someone who is not interested in talking to you or liking you, and like trying to argue with someone who is not interested in talking to you, trying to talk about your feelings with someone who's not interested and who doesn't even seemingly like you. So without blame though, without blame. This is the point of this exercise, is not to like hurt yourself and punish yourself. That's not the point. You can look at the cold hard facts, because that's what we're doing, and just look at your own behavior in a very critical way of like, in order to understand what you do not want to bring into any future relationship moving forward, so that you actually learn from this. All right? And understand the features of this person, his actions, whatever else that happened there that you will no longer tolerate, and that you will quickly notice early on in any future relationship moving forward. The point is to learn. The point is to make peace and move on. The closure is something you give to yourself. Do you think that person could give that to you? Do you think a person who did all these things could ever have the maturity and the intelligence and the emotional intelligence to give this to you? To give this to you. Do you think that the person who hurt you could heal you? It sounds tempting. Don't ever fall for that. Don't listen to that. Again, when it comes to those feelings, let your ego take the wheel. Yeah. Let the ego drive the car while you're feeling like this, so that you don't make any stupid mistakes. Okay? You can also do a mental exercise when you imagine having a conversation with this person. Okay? And you imagine what you would want this person to say to you so that you feel better. Imagine it to yourself. Your brain actually doesn't see the difference between reality and imaginary things. It literally doesn't. So you can just imagine, okay? You can do this mental exercise. Pretend like you're having this meeting with this person, right? What would you like to ask? What do you think they would say? And what do you want them to say? What would you want them to say for you to feel better? That would help you heal faster. Like, you don't need him to be there. You can do this by yourself, okay? You can just imagine that. Another super, super helpful thing that you can do, which I actually talked about in my video about dealing with anger. I will attach the video down below. Please check it out. Please check it out. And anger is so, so important here. Anger is fundamental. Please allow yourself to get angry. Please allow yourself to get angry about this, because you were wronged, and that's not okay, and you deserve to be angry about this, okay? Anger is going to help you heal much sooner than feeling sorry for yourself, feeling sad, and feeling depressed. If that's how you feel, try to make yourself angry. That's where the ego is helpful once again, because ego will point out at the facts and all of this person's wrongdoings. All right? Okay, now to actually lose what I was talking about before. So yes, I talked about this in my anger video. You can write a letter to this person. Yeah, you can write a letter to this person, but don't ever send it to the person. You can burn it, or you can like tear it apart afterwards. You can keep it if you want, but write a letter to this person and tell them everything you wish you could say to them. How much they hurt you, how much they upset you, how much they disrespected you, how much they insulted you. Just lay it all out. Lay it all out and let yourself be as angry as you want. Let yourself be as frustrated as you are. And let it all out on paper. Again, please don't send it out. Okay? This is your personal feelings and frustrations. That's for you to deal with, and you are dealing with it. That is actually incredibly helpful. And the thing is that you will probably feel better, but it might not take just one attempt. You might have to write a bunch of letters, honestly. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. We respect that. Cry all your tears out. Okay, talk about this. Write the angry letters. Journal about this. Okay, talk it out with yourself. Once it's out, it's out. And you will heal. Trust me, you will heal. If you do these things, you're going to heal. You're going to heal and you're going to learn. So you will move forward, move on, actually having much better understanding of what you want in the future and what you will definitely not tolerate ever again. So that's what you're going to do. Listen, so you have homework now, okay? And I really, really hope that you take my advice and you start putting yourself first. Truly. Because you cannot heal in a place that hurt you. You cannot afford to put yourself at the back and everyone else's needs in front of you, everyone else's feelings. You cannot respect everyone else more than you respect yourself for so long. No. You can get away with this when you're young because you don't know any better. But once you know, you have to start acting better. If you know better, you have to do better. So anyways, listen, I'm really, really sorry that you're going through this. And I'm really sorry to anyone who is going through this. Okay? It really sucks. And it really, really hurts, regardless of what happened and regardless of your personal circumstances. But I believe in you. Okay? And you have really got to believe in yourself. I don't care how cheesy that sounds and I don't care how cliche that is. But you have to believe in yourself and you have to be there for yourself. Treat yourself like someone you love very, very much. Treat yourself like your best friend and really be there for you. Sit with your feelings, deal with them, and most importantly, learn from this. So you don't end up in a situation like this ever again. Not just in romantic relationships, but like in business partnerships or in your friendships. You know what I'm saying? So you don't let anyone, literally anybody, do this to you and disrespect you like this. Anyways, listen, I feel like I've been talking about this for a really long time. I'm really passionate about this. So I really, really hope that you like this video. Thank you so very much for watching this. Please let me know any thoughts you have on this topic in the comments. I really want to know. If you have any other questions, any other video suggestions, please let me know in the comments once again. And I love you. I believe in you. And I promise you, you're going to be okay. You're going to be better than okay. Just give it time, okay? It takes two things. You got to do the work, number one, and you have to give it time. If you just give it time but don't do the work, it's not going to help. You have to do the work. And we talked about all these things in the video. So you have things to do. I love you so very much, and I will see you in the next one.